Hello everyone. One more time I get to say welcome back to the Portland Pickles pregame show. Tonight we are going to call this one the Fan Appreciation Show. And we're going to show exactly how much we appreciate you. So there it is. On my right as usual, Mike Chexx, the voice of the Pickles. On my left as usual, Coach Mark Magdaleno. Mags to you and I. Mike, take us in.
I will definitely do that, and yeah, this is the last regular season episode, but there should be one before the playoff game on Tuesday, one would hope. Coach, how you doing?
Fantastic. How are you guys?
Doing all right. Glad to be here on the final regular season home game here at Walker Stadium. Let's talk about last night. Jackson Jaha pitched the 9th inning. That was a little bit of a surprise, at least for those of us up in the press box. What'd you see from Jaha, and was this something you had been planning on doing for a while?
We don't do anything without a plan.
Okay.
Yeah, we knew he was a high school pitcher, a really good one, and we knew that he was throwing pens at Oregon as they went down the stretch, in their regional run and super regional run. So we knew he had good stuff. And when we lost those two arms in the draft, and then Elsos went down and Kyuchi went down, and those guys went down and Patel left, things like that happened, we knew we had to find something, and he'd been sitting in our back pocket for about the last 2 weeks. And it was good to get him on the hill and let him get his feet wet.
It's fun to watch him pitch too. Had some nice movement out there. Had some good speed as well.
Yeah, good velo.
Yeah, absolutely.
Struck out the side.
Right. Ron got to hang 3 Ks in the 9th inning there. So yeah, nice Pickles debut on the mound.
Yes,
We got to talk to Jack Metro in the parking lot last night. Apparently his season here is done. He re-injured himself. You and I talked about that the other day and got to talk with him out in the parking lot a little bit last night. In his place, Alejandro Garza stepped up, and he's having a pretty good part of the season for you here. He's batting .362 so far in 23 games. What have you seen from your shortstop?
It's unfair to Garza, to Peanut, to say that he's a Metro. Metro is hitting .348, but that's not the key. Metro, at the time of his injury, had produced 73 runs. Runs scored, RBI. I'm not even counting the baseball plays that go into that equation. So you're taking the 5-hole hitter out of our lineup, who is an all-star. I mean, he should be an all-star.
Absolutely.
There's no other reason to put it. And he's a run producer. 73 runs produced. I've been here 8 years. It's pretty dang close, if not the record for runs produced in the Portland Pickle history. So when you lose him and you replace him with a good player, and Garza's a good player, don't get me wrong, but he
Absolutely.
ain't Jack Metro.
Right.
And I'm just going to be honest about it. There's no other way to put it. He's not the run producer Metro is. He doesn't have the experience Metro has. But he's playing extremely well. And that's not a knock on Peanut. Peanut's playing good, but you can't compare either one of those players.
Right.
To be fair to Peanut.
Yeah.
Because the stats are nice. Peanut's doing his thing and getting on, and I mean, if you're going to have a guy playing right now and having an incoming freshman playing down the playoff stretch, most of the time you're going to be in some trouble.
Right. You're going to be sweating a lot more.
But he's doing a great job. So I mean, I'm not sweating as much. But yeah, he's not Metch. Metch is an all-star. Metch is an all-conference player this summer.
Yeah.
Right? So that's a huge loss.
Very much so. We were sad to learn that he had to go, but at least he's got time to rehab his injuries before he has to start fall college ball. So at least there's that. You have dealt with a lot this season. You and the coaching staff have dealt with so many things. Do you have plans once this season is done and before you have to worry about college season again? Like, do you get a small vacation? Do you have plans with the family to go and do something and decompress for a little while?
I'll probably have maybe 4 to 5 days.
Yeah.
Before I start a training camp at Clark, not long. But this is our job. It's our profession. My break will be sometime for maybe 10 days or so in December, maybe a little bit at Thanksgiving. If you're going to do this for a living, you don't spend a lot of time at home. You miss weddings.
Right.
You miss birthday parties. You miss graduations. You miss a lot of things, right? I always told my mom, God bless her, I always asked her before she died, I said, can you make it in the off season? So, and she would laugh because we had a great relationship, right? But that's just what we do. I mean, like when this season's done, we're going to enjoy what we've accomplished and think about the things that we didn't do well, because you have to be self-reflective and you've got to be self-critical. So whatever I feel like we didn't do well, like I didn't do well, right? Mm-hmm. I'm going to start working on that to make it better for us the next season. That's just my goal. Every year, we live to get better.
Well, and we talked about it before, and there's little downtime when this is your world, and sounds like the next few weeks aren't going to be any different for you.
You get to come to the ballpark every day. I mean, I'm sure everybody that puts on this uniform feels the same way. You're coming to the ballpark trying to get better and just trying to hang. And right now, we're just trying to hang on, right?
Right.
I mean, there's a lot of moving parts to this pennant race, but I like where we're sitting right now. I wouldn't want to be in the other seat, to be honest with you.
Exactly.
Now, are we as good as we were early in the year? Not right now, but we're dangerous.
Right.
And again, I thought last night and the night before, even though we made some key mistakes that cost that game, because both games should have been one-run games going either way, I think that you're starting to see this new group of Pickles, the Pickles that are coming in, the reinforcements, the guys that are having to pick up the slack for the injuries. You're starting to see a little bit more, you're starting to see them click.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So you're starting to see them click. And so when we walked away last night, I went, okay, I'm starting to feel the energy again. And there's something clicking. I'm not saying that's going to assure us of a victory tonight, a win tonight, or even tomorrow, but it tells me we're clicking. And we are in a good place, and we're excited about the opportunities that are in front of us. And we know that every game is huge right now, right?
Right. 3 against Walla Walla this weekend after the game tonight. This question was originally meant for last night, but we didn't get to do a pregame show last night. Are you on social medias, Coach?
I do one.
Yeah?
I do Twitter.
Okay.
Yeah, I do Twitter. That's it.
Now, do you post much, or are you on Twitter to sort of follow other things?
I use it for recruiting. I use it to follow players. I do it to, obviously it's just a recruiting thing for me.
Okay, that makes sense. I never really thought about it that way.
I don't post much. If one of our players does something special, I'll post it. If something's funny, I'll post it. Or if there's something that I think people need to see, I'll post it. But I'm not going to give you my opinions on social media. I tell players all the time, and I think it's a good rule, not just for players, but for everybody. Social media is not your friend.
Right.
Okay. And so if you're a young player out there in high school right now and you think social media is your friend, understand this, that when you start to get recruited, they're going to start researching every social media that you have to see what you're posting, see who you are. So if you're putting something out there right now and you think it's funny, it may not be funny, it could hurt your chances. It's not your friend. So I just let people do their thing. Like, I like to look at the pickle stuff and I watch and I giggle and there you go. Right? They're awesome at their job. The Pickles are the best at social media. They're fantastic, and that's why we are who we are, because of our administration and the young people that are working in our organization.
You're right, Coach. Our social media team is absolutely amazing.
Big league.
Yeah, absolutely. You had another statement you wanted to make, friend, before we close this down.
Yeah, this is it's a long one, folks. So take a deep breath. It takes a lot of people to put on the show known as the Portland Pickles, and they don't get a whole lot of love from. Well, they get love from us, but it's time that we cheer for them. The greatest unsung heroes we have here at the park have got to be our interns, and of course, and as well as our concession staff, our food servers. I can't remember the name of our ice cream guy. He's great. I love him. And especially at the Pizza Shack. That's my place. That's one of my favorite places to hang out, folks. But our broadcast crew, I mean, you see us, but there's a whole lot of people that go on behind it. Malachi, who's behind the camera tonight, and Mo, the chief operator of the show, it seems like. They're just great people, and I want to say thank you to every one of them, because, well, we couldn't do it without them.
They help make this the best show in the world.
Oh, yeah. And on a personal note, I have to take my hat off to our upper management, let's call it, the ownership group and the general manager and also Ross. And they let me do this for one more year. I mean, I love it.
We love having you out here.
Thank you, Pickles.
Yes,
this is
sir.
great.
Absolutely.
Now, on to that final little piece of
The
business.
last piece of business. Go Pickles!